So Hayden, you work for Drone Deploy, which is
biggest
tell
drone
us- tell
software
us- tell
company
us-
in the world.
sorry.
Biggest drone software company in the world.
There we go.
Yeah, so working for Drone Deploy has been actually amazing, really. I had a passion for drones
Yep.
when I was doing sort of the survey part of it as well. I always believe that the right photo at the right time has like the potential to make or break a project,
Yep.
Especially from the contractor side as evidence of you've done it actually this way. And then, being approached by Drone Deploy to be involved in their ground robotics sort of like brought everything together for me, which is why I'm real excited. And it's given me the opportunity to actually travel the world.
Yep.
In the last sort of 12 months, I've been over to the 31 cities around the world. And a lot of it's visiting customers and implementing like robotics and Drone Deploy sort of features on their construction side or any type of oil and gas side or things like that. And it's great to see what good actually looks like.
Right.
And coming from the construction industry, where we've just spoken about all the issues that we have
In specific to New Zealand construction, I think that's where you
in
come
New
from.
Zealand, and like before I was in South Africa and stuff like that
Yep.
exists as well. To go onto sites, the biggest construction company sites in the world, building data centers for the biggest social media companies in the world. It's like big league stuff, and they've got it right. They have. I say
How? Give us some examples of how they got it right.
So I haven't been exposed to sort of the BIM side of it, but
Yep.
from their conversations and the evidence that I can see on everyone's computer, they've really nailed their BIM process, and they've got that really like working in harmony with all the teams, and the site respects that.
Right.
It is not a thing on the side. It is the design. There's not really paper around. There's some paper around, but people go back to the model. Everyone's opening up Navisworks. Everyone's looking at the model and referencing the model and asking the VDC team questions, not just like they're on the side, fix it.
Yeah, I've been abused before. I've had build teams come in and yell at me saying, your model's crap. It's not, doesn't reflect what's out the window.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, hang on. That's where the drawings came from. What have you been building? You
Right.
know? This is,
And so these
so you let that sink in for a minute.
I am letting it sink in for a minute.
That's right. It's chilling, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what are you doing out there?
Yeah.
So these guys have created like the foundation, which enables a lot of other things. Now
Right.
you have to have that foundation right for all these other digital technologies to kind of work together and sync. So like simple example,
Like your common data environment.
your common data environment, that's a given. That's a normal. It's business
sorry.
practice. They don't
Okay.
have to, like, we arguing about whether we should or shouldn't have it. They like that's standard practice in these companies, which
Right.
is great to like be exposed to, because like I sit there and be like, wow, this is everything I actually wished construction was where I come from.
Yeah.
And they're doing it. It's normal. It's business as usual. Like there's nothing like odd about it. It's not emerging technology. It's the technology that's just standard. So anyways, they've got these foundations in place. It enables the VDC teams to have sort of laser scanning teams, reality capture teams that are flying the drone every week. They're scanning every day. They've got the best technology because again, they've invested in the people and they've invested in the tech, and they've spent the millions of dollars getting the best laser scanners, and they've got these workflows that work. And they go and scan things. They give it to their digital teams, the VDC teams, whether it's on site or at their technical services somewhere in the world. And that comes back into Navisworks, and everyone can see that stuff was done properly.
Yep.
There's no old school surveying done.
Is there a need for shop drawing from when you develop the design at that level of design that you are talking about? Is there a need for shop drawing to enter a manufacturing phase? Because we come up with this great design, which is a 90% developed design, great, and then the manufacturer then takes that design and says, "Oh, I need to do a site measure. I need to do some shop drawings and develop that even further to the next level." Is that something you guys deal with?
We don't deal with that in what we do. Drone Deploy is very much in the reality capture after things are built.
Yeah.
Or as things are built.
Fair. Right.
But just looking at what they do, there's a real strong process where that stuff's verified again in the model.
That running QA is so powerful, though,
100%.
because that site's going to evolve as it's built.
Yeah.
So having that running QA on site means you can make those multitudes of small corrections on the fly that keeps that model integrity where people can actually lean in and trust in it. The problem with a model is once you've lost any faith in it, you've lost all faith in it.
Yeah. Well, we don't have any faith in it to start with.
No, that's right. Yeah, it's not treated seriously.
Yeah.
And these big guys, they trust that model. They've got at that level of digital literacy, process, everything where they trust that so much. That's what they work for.
So everything is the model.
Basically, everything's the model. And
So you don't go hunting for a structural drawing. You go straight to the model.
They go to the model, they look at it.
That's- ah,
And one of the other things it enables, and one of my other passions, is the geospatial relationship between everything. Obviously,
Right.
that's the model, right? But enabling the surveyors to be able to be as efficient as they can be, and being able to adopt, the technologies that they have. They at a point now, and this is what blows my mind, is that they're at a point now where they can actually start looking at how they can do it even more efficiently by onboarding robotics. So being part of the ground robotics team,
Right.
we go in and they're at the stage where they can spend thousands of dollars on a very advanced robot, and we can go and get the latest mobile mapper and we can put that on the scanner. So at any point, I can open up a laptop now and we can walk to a section of a construction site. I can activate a laser scanner. I can watch it turn on the robot. I can grab a cane pad and walk around, get back to the docking station, turn the laser scanner off. That automatically uploads. And within minutes, I have a laser scan with me. I have the control file with me. And the VDC team can immediately put that into Navisworks. And someone can then, within an hour or so, have this data and see, that pipe's in the wrong place.
and with robotics, what it does is it opens up the door to use that 1/3 of the day when nothing happens on your construction site.
Yeah.
For 8 hours a day, nothing is happening. So why not get a robot in there to do that reality capture overnight, and you can harvest in the morning? You're only 8 hours behind,
Wow.
And it all
So-
happens at night.
So you've just
Yeah,
gained
yeah.
a third on your program.
So
There we go.
we schedule, the customer in particular, they're scheduling the robot to get up at night time. And the robot's multi-purpose. It's doing a laser scan of the area they've chosen. It's also taking 360 imagery at regular intervals, and that goes into drone deploy. So we have this sort of timeline based. We've got a drone survey of what site looked like on Monday, for
Yep.
instance.
And you're
And then
comparing it
every
to
day
next
of the week, we've got, 360 photos in a timeline of exactly what site looked like. In another repository, we've got all the laser scans that were taken on those different days.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like what Drone Deploy is trying to do is we simplifying how we collect reality capture data to enable the QA verification covering your ass part of it,
Yeah.
so that we sort of reinforce why we do things digitally.
Well,
basically.
a drone's going to capture everything on site.
Drones,
and
Which
human
is
beings
which is
not.
probably part of the resistance, to be honest, to having a drone on site. 'Cause
Well,
there's-
But but a
it
human
might-
being does not have the capability to capture what a drone captures.
no, of course not. No,
The mental
And- and
computing
you're-
power doesn't exist.
and you're
The-
empowering the design office with more information then, because you're
Yep.
bringing all that in.
and it's simple. It goes back to sense, right? If you can't measure, you can't manage.
Mm-hmm.
So, without that information, how are you then going to make good data-driven decisions moving forward?
in the future, are you going to be paying someone a salary that's equivalent to a robot cost to walk around with a camera? And that's like, again, a subjective task. He has to walk where he thinks he needs to walk.
Quite right.
Whereas you have a robot on site that charges on its own, it uploads on its own, there's data management. I can do anything I want with it from anywhere in the world. And you can basically schedule it to get up and collect all that data for you. You're freeing up that person to do things that are more meaningful.
Or repurpose that.
You've
person.
employed a site engineer. He might be a junior. You've employed him to be a site engineer, but you've got him running around with a camera and doing like paper stuff with QA and managing files. And it's silly. Have the robot do it. Have the robot organize it, upload it, put it into Drone Deploy so that the whole team's got it. And yeah, finishing on like what looks good is when you walk into this customer in particular, is Turner Construction. When you walk into their site office, everyone's either got Drone Deploy, Navisworks, or some digital software, also Procore, things like that. Everyone's got that on their computer screen on one of their monitors. It's almost a guarantee. And for us coming from Drone Deploy, walking in there and seeing like Drone Deploys on almost every one of these guys, even like obviously the QSs love it because the data's there and they can jump in. But walking into a construction, instead of seeing spreadsheets everywhere, you actually seeing meaningful software doing construction stuff efficiently, and that's why we do it.
Yeah,